What's up guys, it's Prism42. I'm back again, and I'm making this video today to clear up any misconceptions and misinformation about the Chris Tyson situation. After my release of the 3 videos, LavaGS denied the claim that Chris Tyson was inappropriate with him and then double-backed once the second victim released the Discord logs. LavaGS also came out and said that he didn't remember it and that it was inappropriate and wrong. A second victim came out and said that not only was he victimized by Chris, but LavaGS is a victim as well. LavaGS still denies that he is a victim. Then the sexual assault allegations came out. And then a family member also gave a statement as well. So the second victim came out and uploaded 500,000 Discord messages from a log, and it showed that Chris was in fact being inappropriate to minors. LavaGS claims that he does not have a very good memory of the situation. Moving on, I'm going to address some of the claims about me. One of the claims is that LavaGS thought that he was going to be compensated for the interview. This is just false. While it is true that is a real DM, the truth is he never saw that until after the documentary I made came out. I reached out to LavaGS 3 times in total. The first time is what you saw, the Twitter DM, which he never read, by the way, until after that video. The second attempt was where I had contacted one of his friends and we tried to get a hold of him there. We didn't get a hold of him. And then the third attempt is where I went into his Discord and then was trying to get him hired for an editing job so I can investigate him. That is when he responded. So he was not under the impression that he was going to be paid for the interview. That's just false. So the next misconception is that we lied about hiring him for an editing job. This is also false. It wasn't me that was going to hire him for an editing job, it was Vertius. I was just investigating. So the reason why LavaGS didn't get to edit is simply because Vertius just didn't make any videos. He had real intentions of hiring editors. He really was going to put them to work. So I wasn't lying to him about the editing job, I just wasn't being clear with my intentions of making an expose on Chris Tyson with him. And by the time Mike Klum was going to release his documentary, we had to release our videos, and then that's when he saw it, and then he's saying that we lied to him about an editing job is just because he, frankly, Vertius just didn't make any videos to have him edit. I mean, he only has like 2 videos on his channel. Another misconception is people say that I tricked Vertius. This is just not true at all. So people claim that I was releasing my documentaries to outbeat Mike Klum. This is false. Mike Klum had 0 intentions of covering the Chris Tyson allegations. He was only going to make my job harder. Mike didn't know about Chris Tyson, so I'm not going to hold it against him. I'm not allowed to talk about the situation further because of legal contracts or police investigations. People also claim that EDP is my friend or that I defend him. This is blatantly false. This is not true. EDP is a piece of trash pedophile that I have 0 respect for. Even EDP's victim, Kayla Hotskins, knew that I was not friends with EDP and knew that I was using EDP to try to get out this information. So is it fine for me to record you?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, and so you've known me for a pretty long time, right?
Sure. I mean, I don't know you, but I've known about you, yeah.
And so you know, you would say that I'm not friends with EDP and I was like never friends with him, right?
Yeah, you were never friends with him. I'm not sure when you got into contact with him, but he is a pretty lonely guy and he doesn't really have male friends unless they're pedophiles. And I, knowing you, know that you're not a pedophile. But although it is a dumb association to have, I can confirm that you were never friends with him.
Okay, and you know like why I reached out to him?
Partially, from what Vertius told me, is that you were paying EDP to expose your information because he had clout at the time.
The thing is, I knew EDP was desperate, even though he is a non-credible source. I figured that since he's so desperate, that people would talk about the situation if he just puts it out there, and then, you know, people would discover this on their own. Now, I manipulated him into doing it because he thought that it would fix his career, which it wouldn't because he's a disgusting person. But the thing is, I will admit it was wrong of me to use him like that because There were multiple other ways I could have succeeded without utilizing someone like EDP. I understand it was wrong of me, my bad. Now let's talk about the goofy shit. So the Chud Logic stream. I had zero experience with hostile interviews. I have a natural tendency to argue. So when it was very clear to everyone else that these people were drama content creators, they were pushing my buttons to farm content. It was very clear to everybody except for me at the time. It was wrong of me to get into a screaming match. I really shouldn't have. I have received training and interviews. I've gotten much better. It won't happen again. So let's talk about KEEMSTAR. So KEEMSTAR had me pinned on his Drama Alert Twitter page. He tweeted about how EDP had intel, and he even spoke to the Chud Logic people in like some sort of podcast. So why is it that he's just going on Twitter now and making this fake narrative that it was actually Nick Mertz that did it in 3 weeks, like his team of people? I don't know who Nick Mertz is. I'm not working with Nick Mertz. I've never been associated with Nick Mertz. I'm not really sure who this person is. Oh, and one thing I really want to address that KEEMSTAR is trying to put in here in this like fake tweet or whatever, this isn't a culture war thing. This isn't because Chris Tyson is transgender. This is because he was talking inappropriately to a minor and that he had interest in children. Like, what does this have to do with transgenderism? Like, that's its own separate topic. I mean, you already know my beliefs on that, but it has nothing to do with it. Next, let's talk about Uville. It's very clear to everyone, except for you, I guess, that LavaGS is a victim. It's very clear that this guy has some form of Stockholm Syndrome, and he's like covering for his abuser or whatever, and you're just running with his story when it's very clear that he's trying to cover for Chris Tyson. And so, you know, when everybody knows that something happened to this kid, like he was talking inappropriately to him, and you are over here going, oh, well, no, it's a big misunderstanding, none of that happened. You can't say that, oh, well, the logs came out, I didn't know that. No, everybody knew that this guy was a victim even before the logs came out. So one bullshit claim that Uville just goes with is that when they were talking about sending nudes, it was actually about ramen noodles.
But he was never shown any 18-up content by Ava, and Lava says that the he got from Ava were actually just a bowl of ramen noodles, which I think is pretty obvious since Ava changed the word from in the original tweet to nudes, N-O-O-D-S, when talking directly to Lava about what was sent. It seems like it was a joke from the very beginning.
So you really sat there and said it was obvious that he was sending pictures of ramen noodles. Just stop. Just stop. You're embarrassing yourself. Just stop. One bullshit claim that Uville just went with is that Chris Tyson never sent this guy anything inappropriate. Oh, let's see how that aged.
And Lava also reveals that the interactions surrounding Chris's collection stem from him making fun of his friends for being addicted to because it's a funny word. But he was never shown any 18-up content by Ava.
Chris put his nudes in the Discord. Chris, you have a large penis. Oh, he's also uploading pictures of him in the shower. LavaGS had full access to this stuff, and just look at how he's talking to Chris. It's very clear, like, oh, it's obvious, they're just talking about ramen noodles. But, oh, look at this, he's putting nudes in the Discord so we can see them, wow! Oh, look at this, the log leak shows that everybody had access to the Not Safe for Work channel in this private Discord, which included LavaGS. So yes, he was sending him inappropriate material. He's a moderator too, so he has access to all channels, but we already know that they had access to the Not Safe for Work. This shit is so stupid. This literally just reminds me of when EDP showed up and said, actually, I'm here for a cupcake. Oh, actually, I wasn't trying to send nudes. I was sending pictures of noodles. Like, just stop. It's so dumb. Now, let's move on to Turkey Tom. Now, I want to go over Turkey Tom's reaction to the Chris Tyson information. Let's take a look at it.
Sure, maybe he didn't do anything illegal. Maybe no pictures were exchanged, but he still apparently sent inappropriate messages to a minor. I don't know how old they were. They could have been 14. They could have been 17. I think the difference does matter, but whatever it was, like, he says, were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. Well, think about it from the perspective of the kid, right? Like, whether the intentions were real, whether there were real intentions or not, like, they could have gotten super f***ed up from this situation. They could have potentially been traumatized by this interaction. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more.
Okay, all right, that was a pretty good reaction. Oh, wait a second. That wasn't for Chris Tyson. That was for Dr. Disrespect. Let's see his actual reaction to Chris Tyson.
I posted some fire news for you. Please don't share. Now, this reads as a joke because I assume if Chris was a pedophile grooming a kid, they probably wouldn't do it in plain sight. So I'm going to assume this is a joke. A joke in very poor taste that they should not have made to Lava, especially the Lava was 14 or 13 though. Like that's pretty foul, right? Like whether the intentions were real, whether there were real intentions or not, like they could have gotten super f***ed up from this situation. They could have potentially been traumatized by this interaction.
See, what I don't understand about Dr. Disrespect is you're saying, oh, it doesn't matter if it was a joke, you could have traumatized the child. But then for Chris Tyson, you go, oh, well, it was a joke in poor taste, it was foul. Like, where's the same energy? Where's the same energy? I don't see it. Why are you so passionate about Dr. Disrespect, but then when it comes to Chris Tyson, you're just like minimizing it basically? Like, I don't get it. You pass it off as a joke and say, oh, it's in poor taste, it's foul. And then for Dr. Disrespect, it's, oh, it doesn't matter if it was a joke, you could have traumatized the child. So which one is it? It might be me, but I think the reason why he has a different outlook on this is because, I don't know, maybe this is the guy he was shouting out like multiple times. Yeah, I think that's it. I think there's a little bit of bias involved. I think I addressed most of the claims, and I think it's pretty dumb that a lot of the content creators were saying stuff about me when they only got one side of the story, and it's from a guy that very clearly has like some form of Stockholm Syndrome or something, has something like Stockholm Syndrome, and he's covering for Chris Tyson. It's so obvious to everybody. Nobody even reached out to me to ask me my side of the story. They just assumed everything that Lava was saying was true, and then just ran with it. But you can contact me. You can contact me on my Twitter at, Priapism42, and I'm on there quite a bit. So if you ever want to like talk to me about anything or have any questions, like I'll answer them. Also, I gotta say shout out to Moist Critical. You absolutely could have torn into me because everything was like the lowest hanging fruit ever, like EDP, the whole, everything else. But you didn't do it. So I have some pretty big respect for you for that. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.